Hey, welcome to the Bitcoin Bull. Okay, today we're gonna look at see what Bitcoin is doing right now, what it's gonna be doing today. Then we'll take a look at some news related to Bitcoin, like what the third richest man in Mexico thinks that Bitcoin will be doing. Then we'll take a look at what Bitcoin will go all the way to 160,000 this year. That's what the CEO of Celsius says. So we'll see about that. And then we also have another good news here. The CEO of Binance makes a big reveal on where the Bitcoin price is headed. And then at the end of the video, we will take a look at what Bitcoin should be doing the next several days, weeks, and months from now. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at the daily chart. By the way, if you want to stay up to date on what Bitcoin is doing, hit the subscribe button and also give me a like. That would really help grow the channel, so I would appreciate that. And so let's see what Bitcoin is doing right now. This is the hour chart, and it's making a good recovery. Let's blow this up so you can see it better. It's making, there we go. Yeah, it's making a recovery. It's been on the ground for a couple of months now without moving up anymore, without going above 40,000. And it's been between 40,000 and 31,000, but it made a drop last week all the way down to almost 28,000, 29,000, which really freaked everyone out. But it quickly jumped back up, and now it's at 34,800. Let's zoom in on this. Yeah, so it's working its way back up. It's going strong. It made a huge jump, a huge rise up here, and it's making its way up to 35,500, which is the next resistance line. When it hits here, it will most likely take a quick pull back down some before going back up. But Bitcoin is looking strong right now. It's hanging in there, and it's going up. Let's see. Let's take a look at the percentage. 17% increase. So it's doing really well, and it's looking like it's going to keep going up. So let's take a look at some news and see why this might be. Maybe see why it's rising. What the news is saying about Bitcoin. So the third richest man in Mexico is saying that Bitcoin is definitely the new gold. For the third richest man in Mexico, Ricardo Salinas Pliego. He made a tweet on June 27th confirming his claims that he recommends Bitcoin as an investment rather than the fiat currencies or gold. Instead of pesos or dollars, he recommends and also recommends Bitcoin more than gold. Okay, he's a very rich man. He knows how to invest and knows how to handle his money. And so Pliego, already well known as a Bitcoin opponent, he is struck by his conviction furthering South Americans' newfound pin chart for the largest cryptocurrency. And he said that's totally right. Bitcoin is the new gold, but it's more portable because you can transport Bitcoin much easier than gold, because you can't go around with gold bars in your pocket. So that's what he responded to CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor. Saylor said that Saylor had linked to a previous video interview with Pliego, in which he argued that Bitcoin easily beats US dollar when it comes to wealth preservation. Totally agree with that. And what else does he say? That no one will buy the 30,000 dip. Most of the Bitcoin buyers who bought the last dip below 30K will not buy the next, he claimed in one of the two tweets on Friday. The main buyers will be those who took profits on the bounce. Therefore, the next dip will not enjoy nearly as much support. New buyers will likely show up at 20,000, but fewer than did at 30K. So a dip of 20,000 or even lower has been acknowledged as a possibility by analysts themselves. But this weekend, however, Bitcoin preserved $30,000 support after a fresh retest. That's what we were looking at before. It should not go any lower than here. This 30K. So let's take a look at some other news. Bitcoin will go all the way to 160,000 this year. The highs for Bitcoin are yet to be seen this year, says Alex Mashinsky. Although the price of Bitcoin continues to hover around 30,000, industry experts are nothing that there is a bullish long-term view. Totally agree. I think that this year we should hit. I don't know if it will be that much. I'm not as optimistic as this guy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it hit 160,000 this year, but I'm thinking more of 90 to 100,000, 90,000 ish. To put this into perspective, Alex, the CEO and co-founder of Celsius, the centralized cryptocurrency leading platform, told Cointelegraph there's a big Bitcoin conference in Miami, and he said that Bitcoin should be reaching 160,000 this year, or possibly a bit lower. That's most likely true. It probably won't reach 160,000. We haven't seen the highs yet for 2021 yet. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And he further remarked that the crypto market was bound for a correction following Bitcoin's recent all-time high of 63,000. Yeah, when it hit 63,000, I also expected a dip. I didn't expect it to go all the way down to 30,000 or even a little bit below 30,000. But yeah, the dip was expected. When you go too high, too fast, you are bound for a correction. You can see my tweets in both March and February saying, we're going to have a crash. We're going to have a correction. I predicted 30,000. Bitcoin is like a spring. We stretched it too much and we put too much leverage. Too many people got greedy. Yeah, too many people leveraged it. They bought into Bitcoin with money that they didn't have. This huge dip, the huge drop in Bitcoin liquidated a bunch of people that were leveraged, and made it go down even farther. And then also we had Elon Musk manipulating the market during the whole dip. He made it dip even farther. If the richest guy in the world is willing to exchange a Bitcoin for a Tesla, you have to ask yourself, who is getting the good deal? The minute you buy that Tesla, it's worth less than what you paid for it. But Bitcoin is going to continue to increase in value. So that transaction is good for Elon, but it's not good for you. You know, you'll be buying a car, a Tesla, for example, $50,000, and Elon Musk will get that $50,000, well, his company, Tesla, and a year from now, that $50,000 could be worth $100,000 or $150,000. Whereas that car you bought, $50,000 car, the next year it'll probably be worth $40,000. So he's getting the good end of the deal. He knows that if he could sell his cars with Bitcoin, he can make a lot more money than if he sells his cars for dollars. And then what else we have? Let's go see some other news here. Here's the Binance CEO, which makes a big reveal on where Bitcoin, the price should be headed. So Bitcoin is the biggest cryptocurrency by market cap, has been expecting a huge drop in the value following several events in the market, which like the tweets that Elon Musk did, and also China. China's been talking bad about Bitcoin. pressuring Bitcoin miners to having to be obligated to leave the country or shut down their mining. Currently, prices are going even lower, courtesy of the mining situation in China, which I just mentioned, amongst other events, which has caused a collective sell-off. Okay, here's a Bitcoin chart. You can see in the red here. This is at 30,000, which we looked at before. It's in the red, and now we're back into the green. Bitcoin once reached a market cap of over $1 trillion and reached an all-time high of over 63,000 earlier in May. But this has since lost over 50% of its value. Bitcoin has dropped over 50%. The cryptocurrency is currently trading at about 32,000. So it's up some, and now it's up even more. So looks like we hit ground, and from here we should be going back up. What else do we have here? That was basically the important news here. Michael Saylor's current map. Michael Saylor said we're forced and rushed exit of capital and mining from China, where some Bitcoin investors who advised traders to be patient as China's miners needed time to relocate. Another investor also strongly believes Bitcoin is going to bounce so hard eventually and shoot past 65,000, and everyone is going to wish they stacked at 30,000. Yes, totally agree with that. We're here. Let's get the day chart. Right here, where we're at now, all this area here, a lot of people are saying, oh, we're going to drop even more. Let's wait till it drops to 20,000. This is the floor here. This is the floor. We should not be going any lower than this right here. And in a couple months from now, or a year from now, when we're at the moon, everyone's going to be wishing the people that are not buying in now, saying it's going to go lower. They're going to be sorry that they didn't buy in now. Now 34,000 is where we're at right now, 34,800. Which seems expensive to some people because they think it's going to drop even farther. A couple of months from now, this is going to be a very good price. So this is still a really good time to buy, all in this area here. And from what it looks like, most likely we're going to be jumping even farther. Here, let's put in some more support lines. I see some more lines we can put in here to analyze. Let's do support. We can probably put in a line here. Actually, let's see if we can hit all the way from here. Let's see if that works out. Yeah. Let's see, one moment. All right, here we got a new support line. And so Bitcoin should not go any lower than this green support line here. It shouldn't even go any lower than this orange support line here. Zoom in a little more. And now let's put in a new resistance line up at the top here, so we can see we can kind of create a channel. Let's get it from, let's see if we can get it from here. That looks good. Okay, so now we have this channel here. Here's a downward shaping. There's a downward triangle here. So looks like Bitcoin has already broken this channel, this triangle shape here. So Bitcoin should have, well, it has, let's see what it does today, what Bitcoin does today. If it drops below and gets back into this triangle here, Bitcoin will probably end up doing something like this until it hits the tip here of this triangle, and then it will shoot back up. However, it's looking strong. Bitcoin's looking strong. It's already broken this resistance. So it almost hit this resistance line here at 35,500. So it looks like we should be staying. It looks like we'll be staying in this area here for the next several days. That's the most likely of what will happen. So something like this today, maybe tomorrow here, then a small pullback to this support line here, then go back up, and then we should be this green support here, which is resistance now, should turn into the support, and we should be bouncing off that, going into this new triangle here. Once we get to the end of the triangle, we should skyrocket, more or less. As more days go on, it's harder to predict. But here, let's zoom out a little bit more. Basically, let's do another. Let me show you something else. Basically, we should be looking at something like this for the next several weeks. Not exactly. This is more or less. And then hit up like 50,000, 48,000, 50,000, which is the next resistance. Bounce back down. And then from here, it might shoot back up or go to the end of the triangle. And by October, November, we should be back up to 60, 65,000 where we were before this whole dump here. And then before the end of the year, we should be looking at new maximums, getting up to 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, like this guy said here that we just looked at. 160,000. That's not the one. 160,000 by the end of this year. I don't think it'll be that much, but 95% chance that we will be above 65,000. And so yeah, that's the Bitcoin analysis. And other cryptocurrencies, we have the altcoins. They're starting to slow down now. It's been taking, the other cryptocurrencies have been really dropping. They made big drop, and now as you can see, more or less like half is in red, half is in green. They're slowly starting to recuperating. They're hitting ground, and should slowly start recuperating as Bitcoin now is starting to recuperate. Once it passes 35,000, it makes its way up to the most important resistance, which is 40,500. Once Bitcoin breaks this 40,000, then Bitcoin is going to skyrocket. Once that happens, the whole crypto market should recover and we should start seeing some other cryptocurrencies skyrocket. So if that happens, if I see some good ones, I'll mention those as well. But this channel is basically about Bitcoin. So yeah, this is what we're looking at now. Looks like Bitcoin has hit ground, and from here we should slowly might even go faster than expected. We should start recuperating and making our way back up to this very important resistance line here. And once we break this, then we will be skyrocketing up to 50,000. We'll probably take a quick dip back down before hitting maximums again. But yeah, now is a good time to buy if you haven't bought any Bitcoin yet, or you still want to accumulate some more. This is still a really good price. This whole area here, we're still in a good price. So get in while you can, because the forecast is that Bitcoin will start going up. So get in while you can. All right. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.